time to do some hands-on. Let's confirm what we have. We have a KT315 controller. We have the USB 485. We're going to use that for the communication between the software called Entropass and the controller, the door controller. The USB 485. One side is going to the controller, RS485, and the other side with the USB cable that's going to the computer where we have Entropass installed. So we do have that. We have we're gonna use one reader. This controller can manage two doors, two reader, but for that hands-on we're going with one reader. Remember, we're using Wigan reader, so pretty much we have D0, D1 for data wire. We have ground and power. Those are the four wire we need. In that reader we have two more wire. One is for the buzzer and the other one is for the LED, because on the front of the reader we do have an LED that's gonna switch from red to green, that to say the door is open. Alright, we have the transformer. This is a 16.5 volt AC 40 VA. That's the transformer we're going to use. If we look at the part number, that's a TR1640P UL. So we do have the transformer. For the lock, for that particular hands-on, we're gonna use a LED. That's a 12 volt LED that will simulate the lock. That means when the lock is powered, the LED will come on to let us know the lock works fine. We have the card. Actually, we have different type of card, key fobs. We have regular card, box card. Alright, so we do have cards. For door contact and wax, we're going to simulate that with those. For an exit button and the door contact. What else do we have? Alright, the kit comes with a small bag with a screwdriver and some resistors, in case if you're gonna use an offline resistor for your input. So we do have resistor there. Okay, so let's start. Let's go with a closer look of the controller. Okay. Alright. Here, that's where we're going to connect the AC. We have the auxiliary output that's provide 12 volt. We have the lock output, lock 1 and lock 2. The COM bus, that's where we can connect. For example, this controller comes with 4 input. If we need more, we have input module we can connect, and that's gonna be connected to the COM bus. Of course, we have where we're gonna connect door contact and wax. Alright, and we have the relay. This controller got 2 relay on board, but to use them we're gonna need external relay because those are open collector. For communication we have 2 options. We can go RS232 directly here, or we can go RS485. In that case we're gonna go RS485 because we do have a USB 485 available. About the reader gonna goes, we can connect them here, reader 1 and reader 2. Okay. Alright, let's start. Let's get communication ready. Here we go. I'm using a 22 gauge 4 wire. So I have, at this moment, I have green goes to X plus, red to X minus, and black goes to ground. So you can have them any way you want. You just need to make sure what you have in there that's the same way you have it in the controller. Remember, the ground for the communication gonna be the same as the ground for the reader. Okay, and ground for the reader is right there. Alright, so I have my communication ready. Now, next, we're gonna move. The next one I want to connect would be the reader. Just have to make sure that, again, whatever I have here is the same that I have for the reader. Okay, white and green. Right now I have orange goes in white. Down, same as the IS-45 down. Power. The Aeropox reader can go either in 5 volt or 12 volt, no problem. But you might have other reader, just confirm the power requirement for the reader. Our reader, Aeropox, no problem, we can use any, the 5 volt or the 12 volt. We decide to go with the 12. Reduce. What do we have left? We have the buzzer and the LED. Alright, they are over there. So we see door 1, that's for the reader 1, and door 2. So we're using the reader 1, so of course we're going to the door 1 position. Alright, reader with the USB 485 with the okay. Now we're gonna go, remember we said we're gonna use those to simulate door contact in wax. So let's go door contact in wax. So here we have door 1. Yeah. That's the door contact is ready. Alright. And the wax. We're using the same common, so we're gonna get both wire guys. Okay, so here we're ready for door contact in wax. Of course, simulation. We said we're going to use our friendly LED for lock 1. Okay, so we're getting closer. We have reader, we have communication, we have the lock. We use the LED to simulate the lock. Door contact can work. So now we just need power. Okay. That's AC, so no problem for polarity, no problem. Here we go. So pretty much we just need to plug it in and then, oh, nope, not quite. Here we go. Now we ready for the next step, which are gonna be installing the USB 485, power the controller, and start the programming part. Alright, so let's get ready for that. Alright, wait, before we move on with PC is coming. Before we move on, I decided to change reader. I'm gonna use an XSF reader or POX. It's very clear for the wiring. Data 0, data 1, power, ground, buzzer LED. Cable ready to go. Here we go, white and green. Alright, with the ground, the black, and power. Remember, we can connect it to the 5 volt or the 12 volt, no problem. But you might have other reader. Please, if using another reader, verify the power requirement for it. So I get the ground ready. Not bright. And power, I'm using 12 volt. Then what left? Buzzer and LED. The brown is the LED and the blue is the buzzer. Here we go. So, our friend reader waiting for us here. Door contact and wax. Make sure we have everything. Okay. Alright. Double check. Reader. Good. Communication. We go USB 485. Waiting for us. Door contact, wax, lock, alimentation. Now we're going to work on the Entrapath software. We're going to install the software, then make sure everything is programmed correctly. Before we do so, let's confirm the Entrapath software. It's a Windows-based application. It can be installed in a Windows computer from XP Pro 32-bit to Windows 2012 Server 64-bit. So between those we have XP Pro 32-bit, Windows Server 2003 32 or 64-bit, Windows Vista Pro 32 64-bit, Windows 7 Pro 32 64-bit, Windows 2008 Server 32 64, Windows 8 Enterprise 32 and 64, and Windows 2012 Server 64-bit. We're currently compatible with the Windows 2012 Server 64-bit, not the Windows 2012 R2. Okay, my PC right now is running Windows 7 Pro, and right before we go further, we strongly recommend to disable the UAC. UAC, it's user account control setting. Please, like you can see, it's set to never notify. So please verify the UAC. Windows XP don't have UAC, but with Windows like Vista, Server 2003 and else, they have UAC. Please make sure it's set to never notify. Then that's it. We're good to move on. So you're going to need the Entrapath software. I copy my locally in the PC. It's Entrapath EP Special Edition 06-0159. That's the version 6, the latest version of the Entrapath. In your case, you might have a DVD with the Entrapath software, and inside that DVD there is a label with a code, an installation code. This is actually the license to install the Entrapath. 16-digit code. So you locate yours, and then we're going to start the installation. We do have an application note to help you. With these, in 8 easy steps, you will get your software installed and all your programming completed. 8 step, not 8 step with each one of them get another 8. Just 8 step. For example, first it's installing the software. Alright, so that, remember, you can have the software in a USB drive or in a DVD. In my case, I already copied it in my computer. So we're going to install. On that installation, enter that installation code, which is actually the license, and then next. Pretty much that's it. Second step, we're gonna define the logical component. Logical component mean we might have an access control system with different locations. Each of those locations will be considered as a site. So the site will be a logical component. So we're going to create one or multiple sites depending on your situation. So that will be the next step. Step 2, logical component. Step 3 will be to set up, to configure the physical component. After we said I will program the system depending on how many sites we need and how many controllers we have on each location, we're gonna define those. What type of controller do we have? Is it KT 100, 300, 315, 400? And what type of door? Do we have a door who's actually going to have one reader and an exit button, or do we have a door with 2 readers, one reader to get in, one reader to leave? So that's pretty much the next step. And after that, we'll check the status. Do we have communication or not? If we do, so we can keep moving forward. If we don't, we have some check and find out why we don't have communication yet. After that, that's pretty much done for the hardware part. It will be more programming, like set up schedule, define access level for the user, because we might have user who has access everywhere 24/7, and some other user, they have access to a particular, to some doors and not some other doors. So we'll define the access level. After we define schedule and access level, then we can make sure we have create the user. Pretty much that's it. After the user, we test, make sure those users can access the system the way they should. After that, we make it back up and we're good. We were at step 5, define schedule. 6, define the cardholder access level. 7, create the user. And 8, we do a check on the system, make sure everything is good to go. Then we make it back up. That's it. 8 easy step. Alright, so time to start. Look for the software, look for the setup exe, double click. Here it's asking me what language I want to do the installation. These, by selecting English, that will mean the documentation loaded in the PC will be in English, but the software itself can be still switched from English to other languages. Enterprise, we support currently 9 different languages. Alright, then you start the installation process. For selection, we're going to install the server, database, and workstation. So we select the first one. And then here we go for the license. Remember, inside your DVD, if you receive your software on a DVD inside, and you open the DVD, inside the casing there is a label with the code. If you receive it to a USB, you will find a sheet inside the package with your license. Alright, so now I'm gonna add my license, look for it, and then
Next. Once the license is added, next, and we can start the installation. Here we go. So now, like the screen is saying, one moment please, we just wait. You might have some other question. For example, if you want to set an alternate, a secondary language, which means the software at every single time will be available in those two languages, but we still have 9 languages. We can switch from one to another. By selecting a secondary language, these will allow us, for example, we might have the system on a location where some people speak French, some people speak English. Let's say some people speak English, some other people speak Spanish. So we could set the system for English and Spanish. Now, when we create the operator, that will be the user who can access the access control system, to follow up and do programming. We can define the default language for that operator. I can have an operator with default language English, another one with default language set to Spanish. So when one person access, he will switch to his default language, either English, Spanish, or any of those other 9 languages. So that will be pretty why that question will come up. So we can select a secondary language, or we can just set it to known, meaning we'll just go with one language for the moment. In the meantime, let's take a look at the equipment. Remember, equipment is there. We have a KT315 controller. We have one reader set up. We have the USB 485. It's not installed yet at the computer. We're gonna do that pretty soon. All right. That's where we can select secondary language. We have English, French, Spanish, German, Italian, Chinese, Portuguese, Dutch, and Turkish. We have those 9 languages available. For now, I go secondary language, Spanish. Of course, I could set it to known as well. Alright, installation successfully completed. Now we have the option, we can check mark here to have the Entrapass start every time Windows start, or we can just leave it that way. That's up to the customer, the way they want it. If it's a dedicated PC, no problem. Do we have to install any other application? No. Normally we should reboot in here, but since I'm recording, and there is no need for that. Alright, so software is installed, ready to go. Now, just before we start the application to move on, let's install the USB 485. That's the adapter we're going to use. So we're going to plug it in the PC. So we're looking at it right now in that view. Alright, the adapter is plugged in. We have driver installation. Let's wait to see what's going to happen. We can see there is a we're waiting. That depends. Sometimes it might just be installed automatically. and some other time we might have to load the driver. In any case, the driver can be found. The USB came with a small CD in a box, or here we go. So the driver can be found in there, in the small CD. If it's needed. Okay, or it's also available in the application software. If I open the software, the location, and I go in driver, I have USB 485. I have the 32-bit and the 64-bit driver. So in case you don't have the CD. Alright, now we can see there is a green light on already there, but nothing else yet. For now we have the green light, meaning the adapter is connected, is currently connected in the PC. Okay, so let's see, let's confirm the COM port. Alright, we go to Device Manager. Right now we have USB serial port and nothing. I mean, right now the driver, we do need the driver. So that's a good opportunity for us. Right click. We go into work on the driver, right, to make sure we update the driver. Here we go. We just click on the scan for hardware change and it came up. So in case it didn't came, we just have to go to update driver and look for the it's already there, and look for the driver. But let's look in there. It's away. Wait, not you, my friend. Here, driver, USB, and depending on the Windows, if it's 32 or 64, you select the one you need and you click next, 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 and that's it. For now, the adapter is installed and ready to go, so no need. So, and it's COM6. Alright. Okay. So please, let's start the intro pass. And we're going to proceed with the 8-step installation. We have done one already, and the application is installed. Remember, or we can just take a look. Step 2, define logical component. The intro pass, well, after the installation of the software, you by default you will have operator ready to go. You have 3 operators available. You have Kantech, you have Kantech 1, Kantech. That means username is Kantech, the password is Kantech. The next one is Kantech 1 for username, the password is still Kantech. And you have a third one, that Kantech 2, password Kantech. Now what's the difference between those? Kantech is the installer level. That means with this, once you use that, you can do anything you want in the application. The next one, Kantech 1, Kantech, this is the admin. As an administrator, you can do all the admin stuff, but you cannot create controller, define, delete doors or stuff like that. Kantech 2, Kantech, that's a guard level. Alright, Kantech, we in. Okay, remember, step number 2, define logical component. We go devices, site, new, and demo. Connection type, we could go with secure IP KT400. Maybe it's a site with KT400 over IP, or maybe it's a site over the network with KT IP, or we're using a modem. In that particular situation, we're using a local communication with a USB 485. So direct RS-232 or USB. Next, please remember the time zone. Yes, it's important because we could have the software in one location and the equipment in another location. In that case, we have to make sure each site we select the proper time zone for that. Next, how many controller we have? Number of controller. Right now we just have one, but in Kantech we can have a loop of controller up to 32 controller, one daisy chain to each other. RS-32 for the USB, we installed that already, and it is set to COM6. Here we go, save. Now pretty much we're ready for the next step. That's it for the logical component. What's the step 3? Step 3 is configure physical component, meaning go in the controller, what type of controller we have, what type of door we have. Does the door has door contact or wax? Does the door need 2 reader, or it's one reader to get in and another reader to leave? So that's pretty much what we do. In here we have a blue button, very useful. That gives you ability to see with hierarchy all the component. Now I'm selecting the side because maybe I could have multiple sides, and I'm selecting the controller. For now I just have one controller, and this is a KT315 controller. Remember, we were supposed to check the serial number. We did, and we know what that is. That's A0006734. My system right now, I'm sorry. The system right now, we don't use end-of-life resistor, but if we were, we just come here and select that. For the 315, 300, we can go with single end-of-life resistor. The KT400 give you the ability to go in single or double end-of-life resistor. So here it's where you set up that. Alright, so controller set. Now all I have to do is to click save, and if I want, maybe I have different reader, I could also select the type of reader I have there. We do have a lot of preloaded driver for all the brand. For example, we have a BA, Kantech, Osco, Sharp, Doedo, multiple HID, Kronos, MyFair, Northern, and so on. So here the one we have now is good because the reader we hooked up to it is a Kantech XSF format. Save. We do have a question here. Do you want to use the Express Setup program to configure your associate devices? Here we can say yes or we can say no. If we say no, what's going to happen? The system will activate the controller, but no door will be defined yet. No door will be defined yet because you said no, so you can define the door and everything manually. If you say yes, it will come up with a screen to help you work on the different component. First, it automatically defines the door, the controller, sorry, and it's also give you the ability to, with just a couple of clicks, to get the controller with all the components defined. For example, first question, do you have both windows installed at the same door? In my situation here, no, but otherwise I could just put a check mark and that's it. Door 1, do you have door contact? Yes, I do. Do you have X? Yes, I do. Door 2, no, actually I don't even have the door 2, so I forget that door 2 and I just say OK. But in case I did have 2 doors in that controller, I would just make the selection. And pretty much that's it. And here, if I want to, I could just name the controller. It's very useful, especially when you start getting a lot. Okay, and if I look at the USB adapter, I start getting some flashes in the TX. Okay, so we do have, we can take a look at the Vital LED here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we do have and the USB 485 now, all the lights are up and running. Alright, so let's go. We do have a door in alarm, coming in alarm. Let's check what that is. Full status. Door first open. This is because my door contact, actually it's defined, the unit I'm using it's normally open, but we're going to fix that. So let's get everything clear. Here I have 2 doors because the controller support 2 doors and they automatically define. But in reality, I'm just using 1 door for now. So I go there and I can get rid of the second door. Thank you. Make sure I have my input defined correctly. Here both are in alarm because they're not. The input I'm using right now, they normally open, so I just go and set them accordingly. And now if I go operation door, everything okay. And if I take, because everything look okay, but now let's make some tests to see if everything really okay. For example, of tests, I take the equipment and I have, let's take a look at the event. Door first open, because remember that's a door contact. I let go, door first open, restore. I take my request to exit granted. Okay. Next step. So we verify we do have operation side communication okay, and of course what we could do, it's also to run a quick test to make sure the reader can read the cards. So I present the card and I have access denied, card unknown. This is to say that we have the good, everything's great, because the card is normal that we have access denied, it's not programmed yet. What is the next step? Physical component ready, door contact works, everything green. Now we have schedule, we have access level, and we have user. Alright, so please let's have that schedule. We go definition, schedule, new. Let's say demo schedule. I'm just doing a demo there. we're going to create a schedule from Monday to Friday from 08 a.m. to 17, that's 5 p.m. We're using military time. Alright, let's do another one. Demo weekend. Here we do have a schedule from Sunday and Saturday only. Let's say we're not gonna do demo weekend. Let's do manager schedule. Manager, we're gonna say from Monday to Friday. They come at 0800 and they leave at 8 p.m. They even come on Sunday and Saturday, but let's say Saturday they come 0900, 1300, and we forget Sunday. Alright, manager. So we have two schedule really. Okay, now next step, access level. That will be found in user access level. New. We can say demo access. Here we're just gonna select the schedule. We say demo schedule. Let's do manager access, and here we just see one door because we just have one door in the system right now, but we could have, remember, up to 32 controller in a site, so I could have in that site a lot of doors. All that we have to do is to assign the schedule if that access level allow access to that specific door or not. Pretty much we have access schedule and access level defined. Now creating user. We have different way to create the user. We're gonna do two right here. First we go to user card, new, you enter the card number. We can find that in the card most of the time. For example, in here we have Alpha Echo 55798. So in here, Alpha Echo 55798. You hit enter and then let's say demo user. Next we need an access level for him, otherwise he will not be able to go anywhere. Okay, that's one way and that's one card. We have another way. We can swipe a card to a reader. Alright, reader. We have access denied card unknown, and I can use that. Right click on the event, edit card, and here I already have the card number because of the way the process I did it. User, manager, and access level please, manager access. Okay, that's it. Now since today we Sunday, we don't have any access for Sunday, so those users, they're not gonna be able to go anywhere. What I'm doing, I'm gonna modify one of those access level by just modifying the schedule. The manager, I say, you know what, Sunday also, and let's go to 15. Alright, like that, the card manager will be able to have access. And if I go operation door at the same time, so we're gonna do a test event, and I want to see the reader if it changed to green. So here is the reader. I won't be able to see my reader. Alright, let's come here. So I have the door, I can see the reader, and could even put it closer, the reader. Come here, man. Okay. Now, card. Let's go with the one with the demo access level. You see access denied, bad access level, because this card, that's the one we create with the demo access level. And here you see demo user. You can see the name, and of course the door didn't move a bit. Now if I go with the other card, the windows changed to green, my door is unlocked, and I have access granted. That's it. The door stay unlocked for 10 seconds because it's the way that the door is defined. If I look, I will see in here unlock time 10 seconds. So let's test again. Remember, we're using for the lock and LED. Okay, again, I have access granted. The LED comes on. The door, you can see the image. The door is opening. Wait for 10 seconds, LED will go off, the LED off, and the door is locked. And here I have timeout on access granted because nobody ever opened the door. Okay, so everything is green. We complete all the steps, and the last one is to want to check on the system. We'll just check everything is okay. Last step is to perform a backup. So how we do the backup in the special edition? We just go backup. We put a check mark here to say we want it now, and okay, and the backup is on its way. We wait. Here we can see the event. We're gonna end here. The backup is completed. That's it. We're good. We have a backup. The system all green. The system is installed. Customer is happy. Technician is happy. Everybody's happy. Thank you, everybody. Good practice to you. Good installation. Thank you. Nice day.